Hi, welcome back, and today we're going to show you how simple it is to use Illustrator to make a really cool looking logo out of nothing more than a couple of very simple shapes, some free clip art, as well as a little bit of knowledge on how to manipulate some of the effects built into Illustrator. And we're going to do those now. So our goal is to create this logo for this fictional store that's called Handy Tools, and we're going to use the elements that you see here on the page to produce this graphic. So to get started, I'm going to go ahead and just grab these guys and just kind of move them out of the way so we can begin to work on these. Now, to get started, I need to get the logo design for the tools first. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these three guys and we're going to bring them together. And my goal is to create like a Three Musketeers logo out of this, like the all for one and one for all graphic using the hammer, the wrench, and the screwdriver. So I'm going to start by placing the screwdriver about right here. Then I'm going to move the wrench over, and then I'm going to go to one of the corner sections here on one of these particular handles, and I'm going to look for the arrow that's bent. Once I get that bent arrow with the two heads, I'm going to rotate this at an angle like so. Now, I'm not really particularly concerned about the exact angle because I'm really trying to do it more optically than anything else. I'm just going to go ahead and rotate it like so. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring this over. So now the wrench is going across the screwdriver like this. Now I'm going to get the hammer and I'm going to rotate the hammer in the other direction like this. We know we're not quite where we need to be, but let's go ahead and start doing some manipulating to get this stuff right. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch the wrench a little bit, get more of an effect out of it, and the same thing with the screwdriver. Now right now the way these things are rotated, they're not exactly where I need them to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the align feature and get all of these things set up so that they're perfectly aligned with one another. So I'm going to select all three of the tools at the same time. Then I'm going to go up here to the top bar and you'll see all of these little alignment shortcuts across the top here. The first one I'm going to do is get them to align center, which is the second icon for horizontal align center. Now I've got all the tools where I need them to go here. The next thing I'm going to do is look for the one that aligns them vertically, and that's this one here. And so now I have all the tools exactly where I want them. Now I'm not really particularly concerned about whether or not this is going to be perfect or not. So I've got this basically where I need. Now if I click away, you'll notice that all the tools are overlapping, but there's a little bit of a problem with the screwdriver. It's not exactly visible, not the way I'd like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab this portion of the screwdriver across the top with this tool, which is the direct selection tool. It's this one here. And then I'm going to go and grab this top section, and then I'm going to stretch this up. Notice that all I have right now is just the top area and not the rest of the tool. The smart guide keeps me accurate and let me know as I'm still going straight up and down. I go back over here to the black arrow. Now it's not 100% great, but it's still good enough for what I want. I'm going to grab the screwdriver now and then drag this down so I can see the neck of the screwdriver completely sticking out of this piece. And that's closer along the lines of what I want. Now, if it still isn't accurate, you can still override some of the settings on this by making it accurately aligned optically, like so. Once you get something here, I'm going to go ahead and sweep all three of these tools. Then I'm going to use my Pathfinder palette, and I'm going to unite all three of these pieces together. And so now I have a one-piece logo right here of my three tools, all for one and one for all. Now, let's move on to the circle. I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. And let's get the circle. Now the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and option drag out a copy of the circle over to the center of the page. And then we need to put some effects on this to get it going. Now I'm going to use one of the basic effects, which is a simple zigzag effect that I want to appear around the circles. Now the zigzag effect is located in one of the other commands under the effects menu. You simply go up here to effects. And then you go into where it says distort and transform, and you find the zigzag command. Now under zigzag, you have the option of creating either smooth or corner points, and you can use either relative or absolute. Let's turn on the preview and you'll see what we got so far. You're looking at basically like a 0.14 inch piece, and they're all set as corners, and it's saying right now that the ridges per segment is at 4. If you switch over to relative, it gets a little bit more spiky like this, which is not what I really want. So I'm going to stick with absolute, and then I'm going to go into ridges, and I want more than 4. I'm going to increase the number a little bit. So we get somewhere in the neighborhood of about, let's say, around about 12. Then I'm going to go to size and go a little bit smaller. So it's a little bit further out. 8 looks pretty good. 7 looks better. Now I have the option of either using smooth to get these pieces or corner to get these pieces. Since I'm dealing with tools, I want something that looks more like a cog, so I'm going to go with this one instead. So let's press OK. And here is our first shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and hold down the Shift key as I drag this piece out so I can keep a perfectly proportioned circle. And there are the teeth there. Now I'm going to put another one that's directly on top of this in the same color. Now to see what we're actually doing, I'm going to make some changes so you can spot these. So let's go ahead and color this in orange. And then I'm going to go to Edit and choose Copy. And then go back to Edit and choose Paste directly in front. Now I've got two pieces exactly the same size. I'm going to press this time and hold down the Shift key and the Option key, and then I'm going to press and drag until I got the cog slightly in to about right here. There we go. Now you can't see anything yet, but when I change the colors, you'll see how clear it is. And those are the edges. Now I really don't want either one of these colors on here. I really want the colors to be different, but we'll work on that a little bit later. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select both of these shapes, and I'm going to go up to the Object menu and choose Expand Appearance. And what's going to happen is the circle with jagged edges is now going to become a regular jagged edge shape. Notice the lines around the outside right now are all still having the rounded circle, but the jagged lines exist. When I choose Expand Appearance, you'll notice now that the rounded portion is gone and everything is jagged. Now I really don't want this piece to be in the center like this. I really want this to actually be more of a hole in the center. So with both of these pieces selected, I'm going to go back over here to the Shapes Mode piece, and I'm going to choose the second one, which is the minus front piece. And what that does, that punches a hole out in the other one. So the frontmost object now made a hole through the center piece, which is still pretty cool. Now, if you don't want to do this, you can always go back and make adjustments to it if you by undoing and getting back to the stage. For example, you may not want to have a jagged circle on the inside. So we could easily go back and say, undo subtract, undo expand appearance, and then I could go back and then just select the center circle, go over to the appearance panel, and then trash the zigzag effect on that. Now I've got a rounded circle. I'm going to make that circle smaller. Go back now and expand the appearance again. Then go back to Pathfinder and then use minus front. Now I have a circle with a hole in it like this. There. Now we're getting there. The next thing we're going to do is going to set it up so that the words handy tools are now going to be a part of the overall graphic, and this is going to be a circle piece. And so I need this to go around a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and then simply go back and get the text tool. Then I'm going to highlight the word handy. Now we're using a font typeface called Huggable. And of course you can use any one you want. This is just the one I'm using. I'm going to select this and then copy it. Now what I want to do now is I want to use the circle here as a part of this. So to get the circle, I'm going to click here on the selection tool and then select the circle itself. Then I'm going to switch back to the text tool and move into position, and notice when I get close to the circle, the actual text tool changes to show you this particular icon. This icon is for area type tools, which allows you to turn the circle into a text box. That's not what I want. I want the circle to become basically a path for the word handy. So to do this, you simply press and hold down the Option key, and you'll see right now that the circle around the edges of the text tool have now changed to a slanted line. And I'm going to click here on top of the circle, and now it's turned the entire box into a path. Now I'm going to paste on the other piece by going to Edit and choose Paste. Remember that the words handy are still on the clipboard. And it's flipped around here to the bottom. Don't worry about this. We're going to fix this in a second. Simply go back now here to the black arrow, which is the selection tool. And then you can grab the word handy by getting this blue line at the bottom. You'll see like a little small crossbar at the base. Just grab this and then swing it all the way around to the other side until the logo is completely straight up and down. When you have it, let the mouse go. Now for balance purposes, you can go down here and grab these two pieces And you can literally just make the letters a little bit more accurate. I'm going to grab this one and drag it to that corner. Then I'm going to grab the other one and drag it to this corner. Now it's perfectly balanced. Now we're ready to create the other portion, which is the tools area. So this time I'm going to go back and highlight the word tools and copy this. Now let's go back to the word handy in the circle, select it, and then we need to have a copy of this. So I'm going to go to Edit and choose Copy, then go back to Edit and choose Paste in Front. Now I have the word handy twice. This time I'm going to grab the arrow for this word handy and then drag it all the way around to the bottom of the circle until I get here. Now once you get to the bottom of the piece, simply take your mouse straight up into the shape, and once you get inside the shape, you'll see, and there the word handy is now flipped into the space. Now I'm going to get my text tool and highlight the second word handy and replace that with the word tool. Oops, lost it there. Doesn't matter. We still have the typeface loaded, so let's just type in the word tools. Now this particular word is inside the circle where this one is on the outside. Now we need to get these two things to match. So to get them to match, I'm going to highlight the word tools along the bottom here, and then we're going to make some adjustments on the character palette by playing around with the baseline shift, which is this area right here. And right now the default is 0, but if I begin to press the numbers, you'll see that it gets further out as we go here. And we're looking for something around about 28. I'm going to go to 29 just to be safe. Now the letters are spread out a little bit here. Don't worry, we can always make the adjustment at the top one as well. I'm going to go up here to the word handy, and let's increase the tracking between the words up here to try to balance this out a little bit more. Oops, no minus on this one. This one has to go positive. So 25 is not enough. 50 is not enough. 75 looks pretty good. Now as I click away, you'll notice that I've gotten these two areas done exactly the way I want. So we're off to a good start. Now, with the words handy and the word tool here done, I'm going to go ahead and then select all of these. And then I'm going to simply go back now and choose the same command, which is to type and create outlines like we did before. And you'll notice now I have these two words set up as a common shape without any circle in the middle of it anymore. So let's grab this and move this over into the center of the shape. And then I'm going to now hold down my Shift and Option key and drag these guys in until the word handy tools is written in the gear. Now I just simply go back to Object, Arrange, Bring to Front, and that's what we have so far. Now it's time to complete our logo. Now I'm going to go ahead and put something around the outside of this so we can get it to work a little bit smoother. So I'm going to go back and get another circle. And to draw a perfect circle from the center, you simply put this where you want to start, and then go to your Shift and Option key and hold them both down, and then drag from the center in any direction. I like dragging down and to the right. Once you get the circle large enough to the point where it covers up almost all of the tools, just simply go ahead and send it to the back. Now you can't see anything because the circle is the same color. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments now. Now I've got this particular color brown in the background, which is really not a cool color. So let's just go ahead and switch to something a little bit bolder, like a red. Now with the tool selected here, I'm going to take this and the circle and set them up so that the circle and the tools are both in the middle of one another. Let's go ahead and align it first to center horizontally, and then let's center it vertically. Now with this piece chosen, I want my tools to be a knockout in the center. So while this is here, I'm going to simply go back to Shape Modes and choose Minus Front. Now it's a hole in the center of this circle, but it is now one piece. Now I grab this piece and drag it over to the center portion of the toolbox. And let's hold down our Shift and Option key and drag this down until it's in the center of the circle. Now if you don't want it to be perfectly in the middle like I don't, you can actually drag it because I want it to be slightly bigger. Like so. I'm going to set it up so it's in the middle. And then I'll go here with this selected, and then I'll go to Object, Arrange, and send it to the back. And so there's my wrench, my tool in the center. Now I can do even more with this if I wanted to get some other effects on it. Like for example, if I wanted to get more of a 3D look, I can go back in and then stretch this and extend it so it goes backwards slightly. And that's just more stuff you can do later on. But for right now, we got most of it done. Let's select the word handy, make it red, select the word tools, and make that red. Now, we're almost there. I'm going to select both the words handy and the word tools at the same time. Let's just take it in just a little bit more. And now I'm going to apply a stroke to the outside edge of this. So let's get a letter or a color we can actually see and get this to work. I'm going to go now and I'm going to switch so that my fill is set to white and that the stroke around the letters, which is this portion here, is set to that shade of red. Now, let's go back and make the stroke a lot thicker, like around about 5. And you'll notice that it's actually choking the inside of the letters. That won't do. While this is chosen, we simply go back and we make some adjustments to the line itself. So let's go over here now to the stroke palette, open this, and you'll see that there is an align stroke option over here on the side. Right now, this is showing the align stroke set to the default setting of center. Here is the setting for inside, which is literally rendering the white completely invisible, but what I really want is the last one, which is setting the stroke to the outside, and you get this kind of an effect here. There. Now, once that's done, you can click away, and you have something that looks somewhat like this. And so in essence, what we've done here is that we've shown you how simple it is to create this particular red stroke going around the pieces. I'm going to change the color so it matches this piece a little bit more. Oops, there we go. Gotcha. Gotcha. And we'll go here. And so what you're looking at now is a logo that we simply put together by using nothing more than a series of common tools. All right? Now, in future videos, we'll show you how to come back and tweak this even more. And we've even got a few 3D effect pieces that are coming out shortly. So stay tuned.